Is Buenos Aires a dangerous city? No. I think it's just as dangerous as any other big city. Is there crime in Buenos Aires? Yes. Have I personally been affected by that crime? Yes. I've been robbed 3 times in Buenos Aires. But I used to live in LA and I got robbed twice in LA. So I really don't think it has much to do with where you are necessarily. Some areas obviously of the world are very dangerous, but Buenos Aires, to me at least, is not one of those places. Buenos Aires is a huge city filled with lots of people and different economic situations. And sometimes when people are down on their luck or needing quick cash, they make bad decisions. Earlier this week, my brother sent me an article. The article was about a tourist that was visiting Buenos Aires that got robbed and got shot in the leg, and they had to amputate his leg. Now, it's not the first time I hear a case like this. So I wanted to make this quick video to give you guys some simple tips that may be common sense for some people, but some tips to help make your trip here great. So I'm going to base these tips sort of off of some of my personal experiences. One night I just left a nightclub and I was walking alone in Palermo, which is a nice area of Buenos Aires. Do not think that if you're in that area you are safe. Normally the nicer areas are where people go to rob. So I'm walking and I see this kid come up to me. He asked me for a cigarette. Right away I should have known, I should have seen the signs that this wasn't good. But sometimes when that happens and I get a little nervous, what I do is I just give them a cigarette. I give him the cigarette, he lights the cigarette, and then he starts apurándome, or trying to rob me basically, right? And 2 guys come out of nowhere. The 3 guys look completely different. The young kid looked like he was on drugs. There was another guy that was like dressed in a tracksuit that seemed completely sober, but he seemed kind of like the most dangerous. And he was sort of orchestrating the whole thing. And there was a guy with a box of bananas. I'll never forget the box of bananas. The guy with the box of bananas kept telling them to kill me. They were saying they had a gun. They didn't show me the gun. At the time, I was living completely alone here in Buenos Aires. So the most valuable thing that I had was my really cheap cell phone. And I say valuable because it had all my contacts in it. And if I lost that, I couldn't call my girlfriend at the time, and she would probably think that I was dead. So I gave them all my money that I had in my wallet, and I asked the guy, this was the dumbest thing I could have done, I asked the guy not to take my phone. Of course, he took my phone. Now, they run away with my money and my phone. At that moment, I lose it. I'm on the corner alone, I start yelling. A civilian cop runs up and says, hey, did they just rob you? And I'm like, yeah. So we chase them down. They were getting into a taxi. We stop the taxi. The cops come. They arrest these guys. I never got my money back. I got my cell phone, but I had to go to the police station and deal with all this stuff. It was a terrible night and a terrible few days, and yeah. So tip number 1, try not to walk alone. Try to walk either with a friend, or if you do walk alone, don't go down dark streets. Stay in areas where there are people moving around. Like if you're in Palermo, try to stay next to the bars. Try to create a path from your hotel or wherever you're staying back to your house where you know there'll be people at night if you're gonna go out. Second time I got robbed, I had just gotten an iPhone. My brother had sent me an iPhone from the States. I think it was like the iPhone 5 or something. And I was going to visit my girlfriend. I get to the corner, I have my headphones on, and I take out the phone and I start talking to her with the phone like this, you know, like out with the headphones on. And I'm standing next to the street. And what happens? A guy on a bike rides by, snatches the iPhone, my headphones fly off, they break. I was like in shock. It was so quick, I didn't know what to do. Of course, this time I chased the guy down because everyone was telling me I was going to get the iPhone stolen. And I didn't listen and I didn't take care of it, and they stole my phone. So I'm running after the guy down an avenue, screaming in English for help, and nobody's really understanding what I'm saying, and he gets away with the phone. So tip number 2, when you're using your phone, be aware of your surroundings. If you're going to whip out your phone and film an Instagram story, for example, try not to hold it out like that, you know, and do like selfie shots. And if you do that, make sure you pay attention to your surroundings. Also, do not leave your phone out. I'm saying if you go to eat, don't leave it out on the table. Try to keep it in your pocket and keep it on you as much as possible. The third time that I got robbed, I was on the subway, I'm coming home from work, and I'm listening to music again, right? In my own world, in my zone. I think I was listening to like Kendrick Lamar or something. I get off the subway and I'm walking to the escalator. Obviously, the subway is packed with people going up and down the escalator. I get on the escalator shuts off. When it shuts off, I'm like, oh no, the power went out or something, and somebody walks right past me real quick, and my music went out. I didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh no, like my service just cut out or something. I get up to the top of the escalator, I pull out the cable, and there's no phone there. The phone had been stolen. Pickpocket came by and took the phone. When you're in a packed area like a subway or something like that, try to keep your belongings in your pocket. I had it in a coat pocket, so it was like loose on the side, like it was easy for them to take it out. I almost lost some amazing pictures from my honeymoon and stuff. It was really a stressful situation. So if you're on the subway or you're in a packed area or you have a backpack on, flip your backpack around, hold it in the front. Your phone, hold it in your front pocket. Your wallet too, if you want, you can hold it in your front pocket. Those are my 3 stories. I'm going to give you guys some more simple tips. Tip number 4, take some loose bills in your pocket. Now if they come up to rob you, just give them those loose bills and hopefully they won't take your phone and your wallet. Now in no way is this video meant to scare you from visiting Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is a beautiful city with so much to offer, but like I said before, it's a big city. Tip number 5, don't think that if you're in a good area like Recoleta or Palermo that you're not going to get robbed. I got robbed in Palermo the first time. Now obviously people go to the nicer areas to steal stuff because that's where all the money is. Tip number 6, try not to flag down any taxi. Look for a number of a taxi service, call that so you have the number of the taxi or you have some sort of contact just in case anything happens. And if not, just use Uber. Don't get out of the taxi without your belongings. Do not step out of the taxi with your luggages in the back of the taxi expecting for the taxi driver to get out and take it out for you. Wait for him to get down, then get out of the taxi. That way he doesn't drive off with your stuff. Tip number 7, don't wear any fancy jewelry. Try not to be blinging it out walking around Buenos Aires. There's no need for that. You're just going to draw attention to yourself and somebody may want to steal that. Tip number 8, before you set out on your adventure into the city, know where you're going. You can even do a little research on the area. Don't just head somewhere blindly. Tip number 9, try to walk around in groups. Tip number 10, like most of these tips, should apply to any travel experience that you have, but do not take a drink from anybody. Just in case, you know what I mean, you don't want to get your drink spiked and get robbed and have a horrible night. So for all you photographers or filmmakers that want to come to Buenos Aires and get some awesome footage or photos, make sure to keep an eye out as well because DSLR cameras are big. Some of us have microphones on the top of our camera like mine, and anytime I'm holding this camera and walking around, people are looking at me. I'm gonna be honest, it sucks that I can't walk around the city like Casey Neistat. Now I think I could, but I think I may draw some negative attention and could eventually be robbed. Now when I do vlog, it's because I picked a certain location and I think it's safe, kind of. Nowhere is ever 100% safe, no matter where you are on the planet, you know what I mean? But I don't go around the city like Casey Neistat. And honestly, it really sucks for me not to be able to go around the city like Casey Neistat because I would love to show you guys how beautiful and awesome this city is completely. I was worried about making this video because I don't want to shine a negative light on this beautiful city. And I don't want to scare any of you that are thinking of visiting Buenos Aires. But these are just tips to help you out, okay? Now, a lot of people that visit Buenos Aires don't deal with any sort of theft or crime. But I've been here for 10 years, and I've heard a few of these stories about tourists getting robbed, and I felt like I should make this video just to sort of help out and give you guys a heads up. You're going to have a beautiful vacation here. You're going to have a great time. The people are beautiful. If you're a photographer, you're going to get amazing shots. But like always, guys, be aware. Wherever you go on this planet, be aware, keep an eye open, and be smart.